Hello, welcome back. This is Mandy, and I have not had a lot of time to paint lately, but you may remember this one. I'm going to paint over this today, I think. So there's things I like about this, but when I was editing the video, I was like, I actually think I like what I poured over better. And these days, when my time is so limited, sometimes I'm just not willing to resin things that I'm sort of okay about. I hope that makes sense to y'all. It'll sell eventually, even if I just resin it and list it, but sometimes I just get tired of the never-ending need to finish art pile, and if I'm not happy with it, I mean, this is a 12-inch round, then I think I should just try again. So I need to decant some more of my Glidden or my PPG Multi Pro. So I'm going to do that, but if it has a lot of bubbles, I'm actually going to use the Walmart satin that we used in this video because I also need to use it up and I've already got it decanted. And I also have to mix up some fresh cell activator, and I'm hesitant to mix up any new paint because then it will have bubbles, so I'm going to see what I have that's usable. And I really have no plan as far as colors go. I kind of want to do a white cell activator, but not totally committed to that either. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll be a quick one. My husband has a meeting this morning, so I'm trying to use that time to paint. I would also really like to have some time to paint on some of my blank coasters that I swear I need to get in my Etsy store. I have some Texas shapes. Not everybody's from Texas, I realize, but you know, we actually have a cute shaped state, so people like to do Texas shaped things here. And then I have some heart ones, which is kind of timely for Valentine's Day, so I would like to do some of those with you guys. May or may not get that done today. So I also have just kind of a life update. I'm going to start, I purchased a license yesterday from one of the designers that I really like some of her SVG files for laser cutting. So I'm going to make some of those blanks available for purchase. I realize this is an art channel originally, so not all of you guys have lasers, but a lot of you guys do craft shows and events, and you still enjoy crafting and doing things like that. And they're really fun to paint. And a lot of you have a lot of paint, so you don't necessarily need an entire kit. Sometimes you just need the substrate, like the blank. So this could be ornaments, it could be shelf sitters, it could be door hangers. There's some interchangeable stuff. So you'll see kind of a lot of it throughout the year. I'll get stuff cut and listed probably before I can fully get tutorials on everything. So I'll try to just list them and maybe do some YouTube shorts so that you know that they're available. But the cool thing about that is, you know, you can enjoy painting them also, but you can also purchase things like, you know, ornaments, magnets, things like that. I don't even know if I have any magnets. I mean, I misspoke. So that you, when you do your craft shows, can have other items. So if you've done craft shows, you know that big art pieces are not always the first thing to go. Sometimes they do go, but like it's the tchotchke type stuff, the ornaments, the magnets, the coasters, the keychains. Like you need a good variety of things to kind of make your day worthwhile. So I'm hoping that that will benefit you guys so that you can have fun painting and kind of doing some of that stuff with me, but that you can also maybe sell some of the things that you make at your own craft shows or give them away as gifts to your family. I think ornaments and things like that are so much fun to do with kids and family members at Christmas time. So anyway, it's a long intro. I just wanted to let you know it's coming, and I'm very excited about it because I never thought I would enjoy doing that as much as I do. You can do a lot of decorative painting. There's a lot you can do. You can foil things. I mean, it's a fun new way to kind of explore your artistic side. And I think it's very therapeutic. Not always do you want to paint the same way, do the same things all the time. I know I don't. I have very diverse interests, obviously. So anyway, I'm going to get my colors and I'll be back. All right, so I just realized, I hope that you guys can hear me. I don't even know if my mic is on. Hold on just a second. Last time I recorded audio, it was really quiet with this camera. Well, if it is, I'm just going to have to voice over, but hopefully not. I need to start using my Bluetooth mic, which I've had for like 2 years, and I don't even think it's out of the box. So anyway, so I made the cell activator with titanium white from Engrave. You can use Amsterdam. I like Engrave because it tends to produce cute little tight cells. And for me, they seem to hold their shape a little bit better than Amsterdam. Obviously, this is much more expensive. So do what works for you. To me, Cell Activator paint, if you spend a little bit more on it, it's not the end of the world because it does last a long time. And then I use Australian Floetrol that I get from Pixel Paint Designs. I have a discount code in the description box, which is Mandy10, I think. Anyway, it's also where I get my boom gels, so check it out. She ships from the United States, very reasonable. As with anyone shipping from the United States, sometimes they're going to run out, and then you just have to wait for them to get a new shipment. But don't be dissuaded, just keep checking. And she runs sales and stuff all the time. Super wonderful. So here is my Cell Activator. Now my paint was a little bit more cold because it's winter, and it has been cold. So normally I do approximately 3 parts Australian Floetrol to 1 part this paint. It's always going to be different based on your paint. Today it's probably closer to 4, maybe 3.5, and I don't know if you can see this. It's still a little thick, but ideally you want it to maybe 4 or 5 second trace and then have a little bounce back. And you can kind of tell if it's going to work if it gives you a nice little halo. Since my paints are probably a little thick because they've been mixed up a while, I'm less concerned about it being too thick. Plus I'm going to use a hairdryer. So this is Cobalt Turquoise. This is how I have it labeled. It looks a little bit green to be golden Cobalt Turquoise. So it might be. It's either golden Cobalt Turquoise or Cobalt Aqua from Colourarte. But I think it is Cobalt Turquoise. And it's still a little thick. So this has been mixed up for who knows how long. And I need to use it. So I'm trying not to mix up new paints. I'm going through and figuring out what's salvageable, using it up. I need to one day just spend literally all day making coasters and using up paint. And but some of my paint pots I've just opened up, let them dry out, and peeled the paint out, you know? So that's better. So 3 of my favorite colors to paint with in some variation are going to be jewel tones. Some variation of aqua, whether it's teal turquoise, cobalt turquoise, cobalt teal, cobalt aqua. I love all of them. There's not a turquoise I don't like. And I probably have a bunch of different shades. Some variation of blue black. This should be blue black from Colourarte. Maybe Payne's gray, but I'm pretty sure it's blue black. And I thinned it out and it's still thick. So I also like Payne's gray. Payne's gray is going to have a little bit, if you're like, what's the difference? Payne's gray is going to have a little bit less of a kind of a green tinge to it. So if you think about blue black, you're thinking about almost like the mix of a Prussian blue and a black. You know how Prussian blue has that nice, pretty kind of greeny shade. You can kind of see it through the lid. So that's going to be the difference. Payne's gray is going to be like a deep, rich blue gray. Super pretty. Love them both. What I like about these is the combination. Like, you can put in a few accent colors, but the combination of those jewel tones is almost always pretty. This is Rouge Violet. So anybody who's followed me for a while knows I love my Australian Red Violet. This is Rouge Violet from Colourarte. Extremely close. Much cheaper. No offense, Matisse. Very, very close. So since we're covering this up, I am going to use the Walmart Satin because it's a little bit thicker and my paints are a little thick. I'm also going, this is I think my only sparkly color, which is weird. This is Tangerine Dream from Colourarte. I love this color. I do still have a discount code for Colourarte below. For those of you who may not know, Leslie has kind of decided to go a different direction. So she's not entirely closing the business, but she's closed the operations of the warehouse. So she's no longer making primary elements, resin art, things that have to be mixed. She is going to maybe still sell, she's going to sell what she has in her inventory, but this is a primary element color. So if it's something you're interested in, when she updates the stock again, you should buy a bunch of it because it's awesome. What I like is it has this really cool shift to it. It's like kind of like a salmon pink with a blue shift. And I like that you can put it on top of a color like blue, black, and get some really cool effects. I thought we would drizzle this. This is Titan Light Blue from Colourarte. Mostly just because I need to use some of these paints. So, and then I'm going to use the white Cell Activator, and I'm going to use my hairdryer to blow it out. It feels weird to only use one sparkly color, but that's what I'm going to do. So this Walmart paint, I just used it not that long ago, and it is separated again. So I got these from Tracy Reed in her Etsy shop. She sent me these when I ordered something, and I'm so happy about them because regular popsicle sticks don't go into these deep tubs, but these do, and I mix paint a lot. So even for laser crafting, I make my own colors if I'm trying to match a color. So these are great because you can mix up your decanted house paint and just wipe that bad boy right off. I used to use all the paint stirring sticks for that and then have to put them somewhere. But Tracy, so happy about those. And she has these other cool ones that help break down the paint as you're stirring. So like if you are mixing and you need it to dissolve, those are cool. So just a little plug for Tracy. She's such a sweetheart. Okay, so you can see it's a little bit thick. I feel like I have talked y'all's ear off. This is already long enough to be a video. I tend to use too much paint, but because we're covering something up, so because we're covering, I thought about doing a transfer swipe because I haven't done one in such a long time. But because we're covering this up, I wanted to make sure that we didn't have like color peeking through on the sides and all that. You know, this is too much paint, you guys. Hold on. I knew it. And that means it's going to blow off and make ginormous cells. So pardon me while I undo a little bit of my damage. You're like, oh my gosh, she's a mess. Why do we watch her? Because I'm a mess. Way too much paint. Okay, let's see. And of course I'm introducing bubbles by doing this. This is still probably way too much paint. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just was like slopping it on there, you know? Like I've never painted a day in my life. It's still way too much. I'm trying to be quiet because my husband's on a call. And all these bubbles are my fault. And I still don't think we have enough off of here. The downside is we are probably going to have very large cells, and I like cute little small cells. But the paint is also thicker, so let's just go for it and see what happens. I'm going to use my already damp fingers to go around the edges, and probably going to have to change my gloves again. Okay. I actually may have gotten enough off. Okay. Sorry, look at this, messy. Let me change gloves because I don't want to jack up my hairdryer. My hairdryer that I use for painting is about twice the price of my one I actually use for my hair, which says something, doesn't it? So the one I use for blooms, when I use one, is the Babyless because it has, and I don't have the Babyless Travel. I should get it and try it. But it has kind of the perfect size mouth or opening to kind of get your, sorry, that's my gloves. You may be hearing that going, what is happening? It has the perfect size opening, in my opinion. And since I had a terrible blow day the other day, I'm not going to try to do it myself. I'd like to just have a successful bloom today and not have a sucky painting day. You know what I mean? So, so here we go. And I may need to speed this up for the sake of time. Okay, so we're going to do blue-black first. And the reason for that is I want this Tangerine Dream to peek over that in the bloom. I'm hoping to get the effect that I've gotten in the past where it was just like mind-blowing how pretty it was. I think I'm going to do the Rouge Violet. I'm going to try not to use too much paint because I just kind of want this to be simple and pretty. I may have thinned this down a little too much, which is why I don't want it at the very top. And I'm going to put some of the Titan Blue. I don't want too much because that color is opaque, so I don't want it to drown out everything underneath it. And then here's the Cobalt Turquoise. And then right underneath the cell activator, I'm going to put a little bit more blue-black, just a little bit. And I'm spilling things. And let's see. Okay, so I decided to voice over the rest to speed this up just a little bit because this video is already really long. So yeah, I like to put the blue-black just underneath the cell activator. I just find it gives you, underneath something white, it's just having a darker color, I think, gives you a little bit more definition. Just personal preference, I think. And, you know, I said in the beginning that I had mixed this up maybe a little bit too thick, but I found when I blew it out, it wasn't too thick. If anything, it might have actually been on the thin side, so I think it worked out okay. And I think it'll thicken up just a little bit as it sits, so it's okay. I'm using a little bit, I'm being a little heavier handed because I'm going to use the blow dryer. So what I will do is just kind of gently give it a puff of air with my mouth to spread it out a little bit. I just find it makes it a little bit easier to get an even blow with the hairdryer if I do that. The only thing is the paint was thick and so it was collecting again. And I think that you'll see I have a little trouble and I miss a spot when I'm blowing it out, but you see how I kind of messed that up right there. So yeah, I try to fix it myself. It works out okay. I just try not to re-blow certain areas with the hairdryer. So it would have been wise to maybe blow in all 4 major directions first, but anyway, it didn't work out. So I'm trying to catch the parts that didn't do well with the hairdryer rather than trying to blow them with the hairdryer, which would give us wonky cells. If you're doing a super big piece, I don't think that's as big of a deal, but when you're doing something smaller, definitely, in my opinion, messes with the composition. So in this way, we still got pretty decent coverage. The center's still nice. You know, this is only a 12-inch bloom, so I don't necessarily want to have crazy places with like no cell coverage if I can spread it out. I don't mind it being a little watercolory around the petals, but yeah, that was my idea. You don't want to hit it twice and have it mess up your composition too much. So now that we've got it kind of where it needs to be to spin, I'm going to speed us up a little bit because this video is already really long. Okay, so I do tend to obsess about those big ribbons of color around the edges because if you can't get it all the way off, I don't like the way they look. I know some people embellish them and all that. I'm not too big of a fan. But I think I like the way it turned out. So I'm going to bring you down for a close-up so you can see the detail. Okay, so couple things. My cell activator actually looks like I may have made it too thin. However, it could actually be one of the paints I thinned down. So at first glance, obviously, I think I used maybe a little too much of the Rouge Violet, but let me show you why I like this color combination with the Tangerine Dream. Once this gets resined, it will have a nice like watercolor effect, but look at this color. Look at this Tangerine Dream color. You see it? Look at that. It's just fabulous on top of, it's fabulous in the white, but it's really great when it just kind of skips over the color. So when you resin it, look how it lays over that blue. So my cell activator may be a little too thin. It may be one of my paints. I'm not going to change it for now. But I like this better than what we poured over. I just need it to dry nicely. Need to pop some bubbles. Need to make sure that this, like, I love this kind of like webbing of cells. I get this a lot with Engram, which is why I use it. Like that right there. I love those. And, you know, we used too much paint, but not that much. See? We got, I think, a good amount off. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope this wasn't boring. I appreciate all of your support. Look at that right there. This is, I can't even capture it. But that color, that's why I like these, like, colors that are very unassuming. Like, it's a very unassuming color, but look at the shimmer in it. I love it. Okay. Anyway, I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for watching. Bye.